Welcome back, Muster006. We're here again for some more Mega Man 8. And after the marathon that was Astro Man, let's go off to the stage with by far the shortest level left. So we get dropped off into a forest-looking area, and immediately meet up with a blue gorilla. And besides blue, because there are 3 different types of gorilla in this game, who all throw different projectiles at you. Bluey throws bombs, or he would have done if I hadn't killed him so quickly. For this little bit, wait until the Mets have walked sufficiently far out to the left before jumping over them. And since they can shoot through walls, I think it's a good idea to turn around and kill them all before moving on. Yay, terrible timing. Yeah, you want to preferably land when the spine enemy isn't right in your way. Now this area is rather awkward, you have a giant leap of faith at the beginning here, and then these birds swooping in from both directions. I would say take it slow, but that just gives the birds more opportunity to screw you over. So keep your wits about you. Now there are 2 paths you can take here, and I have to apologise for recording no footage of one of these paths, a complete oversight. Unfortunately, it's not something I can really record at this moment in time either. That's a story I won't get into now, maybe at the end of this Let's Play, but all I can say is sorry for the omission. I'm going the top path because I can't actually go the bottom path. On the top path, you have to use Clown Man's Thunderclaw to traverse. And remember I said that weapon is a pain in the arse to use? The hitbox on these trapezes is so flipping small, if you mistime the Thunderclaw even a little, you'll completely miss the trapeze and likely fall onto an enemy, into spikes, into a pit, you name it. Freaking annoying weapon. The bottom path, incidentally, you need to use a weapon I haven't yet acquired to make it through, Storm Man's. So that's why I couldn't go that way. No excuse for not showing it off at all though, so yeah, again, sorry about that. Amazingly enough, midpoint already reached. And from this point on, it feels like we're going to have a whole succession of enemy gauntlets. Seriously, enemies are everywhere. You've got Bumby tanks, all 3 types of gorilla, grasshoppers, birds, you name them, they're here. You also have these barriers which open up upon being shot and close after only a short period of time, so don't hang about after you've cleared the way. And that is a really annoyingly placed Bumby tank. If you don't take it out quickly, you're pretty much stuffed. This gorilla, on the other hand, thanks to being able to shoot through walls, is really nicely placed. And here you'll notice that I'm going to use Thunderclaw to swing on the trapeze and open up the barrier. Not the most economical arrangement, but since any accidental perfect is out of the question, I'm certainly not taking any chances that I'll mistime things and land on spikes. So this room's fun. We've only got 1 rhino, 3 gorillas, 1 grasshopper, and an endless set of spawning birds from both sides of the screen to deal with on. So, you know, just the usual. And this isn't anywhere near the worst of it, in my opinion. Coming up is a screen that ticks me off to no end if the Thunderclaw doesn't work for no good reason. Miss that trapeze, and you'll land on the spikes. Not fun. And now I'm not going to even bother trying to count the number of enemies on this screen, but suffice to say, it's a lot. And sometimes they even drop from the trees, taking you completely by surprise. For all but the final stretch, try to keep moving through as quickly as you can is the best advice I can give. Obviously stop to kill enemies that are in your way, but if you start having to turn around to deal with the enemies that spawn behind you, that's when things are probably going to go sideways. Hopefully, if you're quick enough, you can scroll the ones behind you off screen before they have a chance to attack you. Of course, no can do with the birds, you'll have to deal with them, but all the gorillas pause for a couple of seconds or so before attacking, so you should definitely be able to ignore those. And see what I mean about the Thunderclaw? That really shouldn't have missed, but at least here you don't lose a life if you don't quite get it right. Nonetheless, yay for a shorter level.
Ready? Yeah, let's go.
Searchman, unfortunately, like Astro Man, can spend a considerable amount of time off screen, unable to be hit. And he also has that one annoying combination of attacks that is a pain to avoid. But the basics first. He starts off with 3 possible attacks, and he'll gain a 4th when he's only got about a 1/3 health left. Firstly, you can jump off screen, hide behind one of 3 bushes, and try to jump out and surprise you. If he does this, jump over the first target that comes your way, you'll immediately avoid the second, and then stay between the bushes, as you'll never know from which one Search will leap out from. Secondly, you can jump in the air and shoot missiles at you. He'll say, "Shoot, fire!" and telegraph this. Head for the wall in the direction Search fired the missiles. There's always a safe spot beside the wall. Thirdly, he can jump in the air and bounce a spinning projectile from side to side. He'll telegraph this by saying, "Double!" Jump and shoot to destroy this thing as soon as possible. It'll be very difficult to avoid otherwise. As far as I can tell, he can perform any attack as many times in a row as he likes, and in the case of a bouncing projectile, this is incredibly annoying. The projectile starts off from a distance every time. Searchman also changes position every time, and while it might not sound too bad, believe me, it's a huge pain. It's actually the only attack that I'm ever afraid I'll get hit to, but only when he does it more than once in succession. Now, that fourth attack I mentioned is called Deadly Storm. Search will hover in the air and shoot a crap ton of missiles at you. Sounds awful to have to deal with, but it almost never is. He never seems to do this attack when he's at either edge of the screen, so all you need to do is slide under him, like so, and attack him from behind. Yeah, he never turns round and instead just shoots all the missiles in the complete opposite direction. It's pretty ridiculous actually. And this attack goes on for so long that you can deal so much damage to him. Yeah, kind of a pathetic way to end the fight. I get. It's a sniper missile that homes in on enemies. Go figure. So, a little bit of an awkward level with a usually easy boss. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Yeah, a usually easy boss. Perfect runtime! And as with other stages in the game, I'm only really going to chime in when I reach trouble spots. So, one outtake here. The exact same thing happened as in my Let's Play version. Terrible, terrible timing on this spine. Of course, having screwed up once, I was sure to be more careful from then on, but unfortunately I didn't remember this by the time I ever came to record the Let's Play. It had been about 3 years though, so give me a break. And several screw-ups on that screen. Those random bloody birds, man. Really don't think anything else needs to be said. And amazingly enough, despite my hatred for the Thunderclaw, this screen passed off without incident. Two failures here. Gotta kill that Bumby tank damn quick. Or at least the bottom half. As I said before, you let it close in on you and fire a missile, you're in trouble. Now, I do want to add that hopefully you noticed I switched back to the Mega Buster to shoot the barrier. For a perfect run, I need to be as economical with weapon usage as possible, if forced to use it at all. Using the Thunderclaw twice there would violate this rule. Now I actually cleared the stage having done just this, before realising my mistake. And I did it again at the end of the level actually. Perfect run invalid. And I had to do the stage all over again. So this footage you're seeing is from that second run. Just thought that was worth mentioning. Oh, and a couple of outtakes on the previous screen, thanks in large to the bloody birds again. And 2 outtakes to the Thunderclaw being a bloody irritating weapon. Also, plenty of mess-ups on this screen too. Mostly getting used to when to run for it, when to stop and attack enemies, and when to have to pull off awesome dodging manoeuvres. Oh, and 2 more sodding outtakes here because Thunderclaw is useless. Remember, gotta be completely economical. Can't afford to miss and waste any unneeded weapon energy.
Ready? Yeah, let's go.
So that brings us to Searchman, and frankly, if he doesn't do the double attack repeatedly, I'm not at all concerned. I described how to easily dodge all his other attacks, so they aren't a problem. What was a problem was screwing up 3 times thanks to him spamming double like there's no tomorrow, and catching me off guard each and every time. Admittedly, since he has only got 3 initial attacks he can use, after he's done 1 double attack, there's only a 1 in 3 chance he'll do that move again, so it's not that unlikely. But another after that, 3 in a row, takes that probability to 1 in 9, and another after that, 4 in a row, to 1 in 27. Still hardly astronomical, but annoying nonetheless when you're going for a perfect run. And yes, he did this attack multiple times in a row during this successful run. But still, this is the only combination of moves I'm worried about, and it seemed to occur way too frequently. Ultimately though, that's all I really have to add to this boss fight, so hope you enjoy the remainder of the battle. Well, this one actually turned out to be a little easier than the previous stage, much to my fleeting delight. Fleeting, I say, that's just because it was easier, didn't exactly mean it was easy. Although I need to go on record again to state that I ended up having to do this stage twice. I didn't adhere to the minimum weapon usage rule when using the Thunderclaw to open up certain doors. Footage you saw was from my second successful attempt, This time I switch back to the Mega Buster to shoot open the doors. The stats that follow, however, relate to my achieving the first, at the time what I thought was a successful run. So 1 hour and 5 minutes is how long it took me to get the perfect run, with a total of 18 outtakes along the way, 3 especially annoying ones on the Robot Master. Overall, I don't feel that there's any one part of the level that's terribly difficult, at least not when you know when to run rather than stand around and fight. The screen at the beginning, where many birds come flying in, from different directions I might add, and leave you with not a lot of room to manoeuvre, can easily catch you off guard. And the end gauntlet where various bugs and gorillas pop up or drop down from nowhere to cause no end of panic is very intimidating at first. But when you know the best times to stick around to kill things and the best times to just leg it, it becomes much more manageable. I honestly found one of the biggest challenges to be ensuring optimal use out of the Thunderclaw. As laid out in the rules, weapon usage should only be used when absolutely necessary, and if used, kept to a minimum. Missing the pole to swing off with a misplaced Thunderclaw does not adhere to the minimum weapon usage rule. And I hate the inconsistency in detection of Clownman's weapon. I'll swear blindly that there should have been no problems whatsoever with the timing or placement at which I deployed the Thunderclaw, but on so many occasions the game claimed that I didn't hit the correct spot. Mostly toward the end of the level as well, that one giant spike area before the final gauntlet, and the door just before the boss gate. Terrific places to have the hitbox detection screw you over and force me to redo the entire stage. As for search, it's pretty simple for the most part. As long as you move to the opposite wall when the 3 missiles drop down, you'll be safe every time. And his Deadly Storm attack just provides the perfect opportunity to pummel away this health bar, particularly if you can force him to shoot in the opposite direction. But that double attack, when he repeatedly performs it, is a pain in the backside. Once I can handle, but twice in a row I really don't like, and 3 or more I loathe. And it seems to be the fact that Search ends up getting in the way at the exact time you want to try to destroy the bounding projectile. All 3 fight failures were the result of him doing this attack twice or more in quick succession, but at least it is the only attack of his I have trouble with. Given that this only took just over an hour to complete, I really feel like I shouldn't have been quite so annoyed. But 3 Robot Master outtakes, all of which are going in the same way, and feeling that I had to often restart owing to inefficient weapon usage because the Thunderclaw sucks, ultimately did for me. And that's the 4th stage in a row, incidentally, that trying to achieve a perfect run has pissed me off. I did say Search was slightly easier than Astro, so 6 out of 10 it is then. There are certainly areas within the stage that qualify as tricky, but I don't think anything is overly difficult. One of the biggest threats ended up being Thunderclaw failure, compelling me to restart the level all over again for the most frustrating of reasons. If I hadn't got quite so annoyed with this stage, I'd probably be looking at a score of 5. But I certainly have precedent in rating stages 6 out of 10, in part due to my rhythm mood. In fact, all other stages I rated 6 thus far, Ice, Ring, Charge, Wind and Tengu, annoyed me for one reason or another. So Search is in pretty good company. That leaves just 2 left. The end is happily approaching. But is it now time for me to bow out gracefully and fall on my sword? Find out next time. Cheerio.